Yo, what's good and welcome back, guys. So today we're gonna go ahead and start the Bash Bar build on the Corolla so we can finally go ahead and install the JDM bumper we did in the previous video. Alright guys, so we went and picked up some metal. We got some DOM. It's 1.25 inches and the wall thickness I think is like 0.95, so that's what we're gonna run. I'm probably gonna end up building like 2 bars, one on top and the bottom, and some poles between the middle just to give it more strength for the car. But first, what we're gonna do is go ahead and take off the old bumper so we can go ahead and see what it actually looks like under there. So what we did is pretty simple to take off the whole bumper and the beam bar. There's just these 2 bolts right here, well, one on each side, that actually holds the beam in. So you just take that off and you take off the 2 bolts that actually hold the bumper right here so it doesn't wiggle. And then I went ahead and unplugged this and it slid straight out. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and reuse these, like the attachments for the actual bumper, but I'm gonna go ahead and like chop it right here and weld a plate to the front. And then I can actually weld on the bash bar to the front of this so I can pull it off just as easy as I did this. So now that we cut these off, these are the pieces from the old beam crash bar from the car. I'm gonna go ahead and actually bolt this up and probably cut these right here so they're flat. And then we're gonna go ahead and weld a square plate just so it's structurally sound, and then we can start building the bar right here on the front. Alright guys, so after I cut those things off, I cut the plates out and I welded them on to this part of the old crash bar just so it mounts. But I've mocked up this bumper, just putting it on and bolting the back as I can. And it's so close that it's like literally touching this. So I might have to build just like a bracket that goes off here to push it back. But first, we're gonna go ahead and probably just build the front of the bash bar off of this bumper just so I can get the mounting points. And once that part's all complete, we're gonna go ahead and remount it up. We'll like mock it up with the bolts on the side of the fenders, and then we're gonna measure like a gap and see like the best way possible to mount like this to the bash bar just so it's easily be able to take it off and stuff. I'm gonna start with the top one. I'm gonna try to build measure this out so I can mount to the top because I have mounting holes on the top and the bottom, but I'm gonna try to do the top just so I can get this lifted up as high as I can against the front of the car just so there's no gap. But we're gonna go ahead and cut a pawl out for this top part and then get the mounting points tacked on. So I recently picked up this Evolution. It's a Rage 3 or 4. It's just a little guy, but I picked it up because I had good reviews on cutting stuff. And look at that. That is a cut with a chop saw blade, and you don't even have to clean it up or anything. It's like deburred and didn't make that much sparks as you can tell from the video, but that's gonna look sick. I'm really happy with that. Alright guys, so I went ahead and got it all welded up, just like all the sides, just to make it all nice and strong. Honestly, doesn't look that cool of a bar, but it's gonna help keep up the bumper and help protect the front end a little bit. Next, I'm just gonna let it cool down a bit and then actually round off these sides right here because it kind of hits the bumper still. But once we round that off and it cools down, then we're gonna go ahead and mount it up and then get the bumper actually bolted to this. Alright guys, so what we ended up doing was on the bottom mounts, I just put zip ties just to hold it up. It does a pretty good job. Piece of Kydex, these tabs that I make, they're kind of flexible, so it doesn't really work if I bolt it. But on the top, I ended up making these little L brackets right here. Just tacked those on and then bolted those on both sides just so it gives the front end, just tries to clear this gap out right here. So it's pretty much done for now. I'll probably end up painting it next weekend because I'm running out of daylight right now and it's kind of cold, so it won't dry. But yeah, we're just gonna throw it back on, put the side markers on the front, and then it should be good. Call it a day. So for the side markers, the plugs that the JDM ones come with are kind of different than these USDM ones. But what you can actually do is, instead of cutting wires and stuff, this actually twists out this housing, and this one actually twists straight into it, so you can just use the stock harness and it should just fit with these actual side markers. What's up guys? Alright, so it's the next day. We got the bumper on and I'm just gonna finish with this chrome trim that I bought. So I ended up going to the store and I got this chrome trim. It's like double-sided tape and it's like 1/4 inch. That's what I kind of measured right here on this gap. So it kind of worked decently. It works good right here because the back of this part is actually flat. But in the front right here, kind of has like some waves in it because it's actually like, the stock one had like a kind of like a taper on the back, so it had to like, it was like a push in, not just flat. So there's kind of some gaps. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks again for watching and following these two-part video series on the bumper. So like I said, thanks again for watching. If you guys want a thumb wrestle, you know how to do it down there below. So hopefully the next video is just as cool as this one. All right, thanks for the support and we'll see you next time.